Hello, hello, and welcome back. I am Dr. Celia Zanayed, and I'm here with me is Dr. Cassandra Kandah. We are both licensed clinical psychologists here to continue talking about compassion fatigue, and in this case, more about prevention. So diving a little bit into this, first question for you would be, are there ways to prepare yourself for a deployment to a disaster area or war-torn areas that would prevent compassion fatigue or at least make it better?
Well, let's hope so, first and foremost. um, and let's level set on that, right? There's a part that no matter what you do, if it's going into the war-torn zone or if it's just work like you and I do, right? There's only so much you can do to prepare yourself for what you're going to hear um, and or see. And so, because especially for individuals that are going into circumstances where they might see things, um, it's extremely important to build up on those self care habits prior to going, to do everything you can to have a deep well ready to go for that. So, usually it's what we would hope for most of us in our lives, and that's having um, good boundaries between work and life. It's making time to be able to do the hobbies that you love and exercise and spend time with friends and family. Of course, regular doctor visits, getting your own therapist, even if you are a therapist, um, just making sure that you are holistically cared for, eating healthy, right? Meet with a registered dietitian, make sure you are adequate in as many areas as you can.
Yeah. I really like that, though, the realistic piece of you're going to be going into this really difficult area. You're doing it because you really want to help, and very naturally, it's going to affect you. So just
Yes.
coming into it with as much as you can seems to be the best way to at least pull from your resources instead of running on empty before you even get there. So
Mhm.
I think that's huge.
Mhm.
What does self-care look like for you?
Oh, for me, oh gosh,
Just give some examples for people.
I love to just spend time with my family as much as I possibly can. I love walking my dog and exercising. I mean, I even meet with a registered dietitian myself, hence why I was readily available. Just because I want to care for myself as I take care of others. I meet up with colleagues as often as I can because there's nothing like, as you know, meeting up with another psychologist who gets everything that you experience and can relate to the personal and professional side. So I am not perfect at it, but I really try really hard to make sure that I'm okay so I can continue to do what I love and what I'm passionate about, and that's helping people with their mental health concerns largely.
And again, I think that's huge to note that it's going to be ever changing. There's no one perfect way to get self-care right. You're showing up and you're being flexible with it, which kind of brings us into that next piece of if someone is already deployed, for instance, they're already in either a disaster area, war-torn area, how might self-care, obviously we have to adjust that quite a bit in that scenario. Any tips and tricks for what people might be able to do to help themselves?
Eh, Patience for yourself comes to mind. It's a lot of like radical acceptance, right? Having to really recognize the level of power, like powerlessness that you as a clinician might have. But know on some level, even if you're feeling tired, you still might be doing something very, very meaningful that you may not even see the benefits. But it's always those little things that we do that hopefully nudges our patients in general in the right direction, no matter what area of healthcare. So I just think of go easy on yourself.
I love that. I think it's so simple too, but I think that's going to be the most over-encompassing thing that you can work on because there's not that much that's going to be under your control potentially. Don't know what resources you might have available to you. Everyone else might be really burnt out, exhausted, so maybe supporting each other is going to be hard as well. But at the very least, recognizing it's okay that you feel like this. That's understandable from all that you're putting into it.
I often think about in terms of like the support that the clinician can get is it's just hoping that the team you're with or if it's like the practice that you work in, right? Or if it's a team that you're going with to a dangerous area, um that you have within each other a way to talk about what you're seeing and experiencing. um, I know when I did my work in Uganda, I was with an interdisciplinary team, and at the end of each day, we would sit and we would talk about our experiences. And some of us would get, emotional from time to time, but we all sat with each other and we gave love and support, and we all grew because of it. So, like, really making sure that the team or the organization um, that you're going with, if what do they have? Do they have any policies and procedures to help guide um, vicarious or secondary trauma or compassion fatigue or anything like that? So, I think it broadly what I'm trying to say, it's not just how we as individuals view it. It moves to the next group around you, it moves to the organization, right? So it's like tapping into as many layers as you can for that.
I know we're going to talk more about social support as it relates to compassion fatigue in our next video, but especially it sounds like being able to connect with others is a really huge part of the self-care that you might have. Because again, one resource you do have is each other, usually when in those situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then last one here is mostly about what if you are struggling to get past your compassion fatigue?
Mm. Get a therapist. Talk to your therapist.
Simple. I like it.
Yeah. Take a vacation day if you can. Or keep in mind a vacation day is coming, right? Hopefully, most likely. Really focusing on life. Gosh, I mean, I know sometimes there's people out there. We don't need to say this too. It changes very quickly, right? So keeping in mind the temporary nature of so many stressors in life, and doing what we can to get the help we can when we can access it. Is actually the last thing I want to say about that is when you look at people that did extended prison times, or maybe they're innocent or in other horrendous situations related to war, some strategy that could be very helpful is thinking about what you're going to do with your time when you get out of that situation. How are you going to make your life count? So forward thinking, positive thinking tends to be very helpful.
Absolutely. So having something to look forward to and feeling like your time is going to be meaningful, satisfying. So that's huge. Okay. Well, any last minute thoughts on prevention of compassion fatigue before we close this one out?
I think that's it for me. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Well, thank you again. This is our second video on compassion fatigue. So we'll be back for our third video soon. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions, comments in the chat, and we'll kind of go from there. But thank you all for coming.